We are just days away from David Benavidez making his 175-pound debut against former world champion Oleksandr Gvozdyk. This explosive fight will be for the interim WBC light heavyweight title. So let's get right into the predictions for this fight. What are all the boxing pros saying, and who do they think will come out on top? Boxing trainer and fight commentator Teddy Atlas discussed the fight on his podcast. He thinks that Benavidez has no idea what he is getting himself into. Atlas has trained Gvozdyk before and is well aware of what the fighter is capable of. He still appreciates Benavidez for taking the brave step to move up a division, even though he was dominating at 167 pounds.
Look, if you want my feeling on it, my feeling is this. Give a lot of credit to Benavidez. I don't know if he knows exactly what he's chewing off. I might have a better idea than he does, being that I had trained Gvozdyk, but I give him a lot of credit that he's going to go up from, he's a big 168 pounder, I know, I get it. But he's going to go from that division where he's a dominant force, and he's beaten everyone there except Canelo pretty much. He's a dominant force.
The 67-year-old is expecting a big upset to take place in this match. While he praises Benavidez and appreciates his skills, he doesn't think he will win. He said, "I like what David Benavidez represents. I like the way he has overcome certain things in his life. I like the way he fights. I like the way he behaves as a fighter. The way that he is proud to be a fighter. He is not afraid to put that on the line in the ring against anybody. I love him in those ways. Love him." I think he gets beat by Gvozdyk. Gvozdyk, at 21 with 16 knockouts, poses a unique challenge for Benavidez. The veteran has dismantled all his opponents but one, Beterbiev. He is also a former light heavyweight champion, winning the title after a 10th round knockout over Adonis Stevenson in 2018. Atlas thinks Gvozdyk is on a higher level as a former world champion. He said, "Gvozdyk took a break for a couple of years to think it over, rethink it, and then come back. I think he will beat Benavidez. Yes, I think so. Benavidez comes from a boxing dynasty. He has a fighting core. He has a style that everyone likes, aggressive and strong, but he takes a big risk. The Carnations are bigger than him. This guy was already a world champion. He only lost to Beterbiev, although he won the fight. Once again, I like Benavidez, but I think Gvozdyk will beat him." Pro boxer Lionel Thompson also weighed in with his thoughts on this match. He has previously sparred with both Benavidez and Gvozdyk. He described David as being a really difficult sparring partner. "David is tough, I ain't gonna lie. That was like a top 4 tough sparring sessions I ever had. Like, it was tough. You know, I had to really bite down. Like, okay, I gotta get focused because I can't, David is big. He's big. So I had to focus, but it was real good work." When making his prediction, Thompson said he favors Gvozdyk. He feels that size will play a huge role in this match, as Benavidez is not used to fighting bigger guys. After all, this is his first match in the new division. "I'm leaning more towards Oleksandr Gvozdyk. Yeah, because David's not used to taking big punches from bigger guys. All that body weight leaning on you and all that. And David used to fight small guys where they can't hurt him. This fight, he ain't going to be able to throw them punches like that because this kid is a very good counter puncher. He can crack too. He put Adonis Stevenson in the coma, so it's like David's going to have to be careful. He ain't going to be able to walk in and do what he normally do, and take punches." He went on to say that Benavidez won't be able to wear Gvozdyk down or catch him on his elbows because the fighter is too big for him. He will have to learn to make adjustments and change his head movements for this fight.
The other guys, he's too big for him, so he can catch him on his elbows and wear him down like that. But this guy, he ain't gonna be able to do that. He's gonna really have to move his head. I think he's gonna have to make some adjustments this fight.
Critics of Oleksandr Gvozdyk say that he hasn't had a great victory since his win over Adonis Stevenson, who was older than him. After that, he lost to Artur Beterbiev in a unification bout back in 2019. Artur Beterbiev knocked him out in the 10th round of that fight, leading to Gvozdyk spending 2 days in the hospital. The Ukrainian fighter was so devastated that he announced his retirement 8 months later. After a 3-year break, he returned to the ring in February 2023. He has had 3 victories since his comeback, but they have all been against domestic level opponents. Thompson responded to the criticism by saying, "But okay, I got a question. People have got to answer for that too. That's not just him, that's most fighters. When most fighters are on the rise to the top and they lose, they take easy fights, and you really don't see them fighting nobody to a super big fight. So that's not just Oleksandr Gvozdyk. That's most fighters. Like, how many fighters have you seen lose, come back and fight another tough fight, right back?" Sports broadcaster Akeem Haynes did a full breakdown of the fight on his channel. He feels that Benavidez has been overlooked recently despite his great performance in the past year. There were a lot of fighters last year that had great years, but I think Benavidez might have slightly been underappreciated last year in terms of someone who also had a great year that went under the radar. You might not feel like that, but I kind of do personally. His fight against Caleb Plant was an excellent win and arguably the best performance to date. You know, he came into that fight in great physical shape. That's one of the things that have been following David Benavidez is his physical shape that he comes into fight, but man, he was toned. He was shredded up for that fight. Haynes said that even though this is Benavidez's first fight at 175 pounds, he expects him to be even stronger at this weight. Benavidez was never meant to be an elusive fighter that focuses on footwork and movement. His unique style could work even better at the new weight and allow him to dominate his opponents.
So this is David Benavidez's first fight at 175 pounds. And I was talking to my guy, John, man. Shout out to my guy, Jay Mueller in the comment section, man. And Benavidez at this weight, I think he's going to be stronger. He wasn't this elusive footwork mover type of boxer to begin with. And I think at 175, man, with his style, his volume, and his conditioning, man, I think he will be able to bring a lot more punishment to his opponents at 175.
He mentioned what he thinks Gvozdyk will have to do in order to win this match. He feels that anything can happen and we can't count Gvozdyk out, especially since it's his own division. Gvozdyk is going to have to use his legs to help him evade some of that pressure. But can he do that for 12 rounds? Right, against a younger, hungry, volume-punching, relentless machine in Benavidez. I do think, as I said at the beginning, that Gvozdyk can win this fight, man. Anything can happen in boxing, as we know. The right shot at the right time can change the trajectory of this fight. And Benavidez is the one coming up, not Gvozdyk going down, so it's in his weight division. Haynes then made his final prediction, going with Benavidez. He feels that Gvozdyk's old age will work against him, but I'm just not sure that Gvozdyk will be able to turn back the hands of time one more time. I like David Benavidez to win this fight by late stoppage. I think he tires out the older fighter and gets to him in the latter part of the fight, and he's able to close out the show. David Benavidez was asked for his thoughts on his opponent, Oleksandr Gvozdyk. He has sparred with the fighter before, so he knows about his strengths and weaknesses. He described him as being fast with his hands, but having a weak chin. He said, he's a fast fighter. He has a fast right hand. I'd say his right hand is better than his jab, so he has a really slick right hand. The thing I did notice about him coming up is he gets hurt a lot. In a couple of fights that he was coming up with top rank, and my brother was on the same card, and he got dropped a couple of times by Tommy Karpinski and Artur Beterbiev. So his chin is not all that. I feel his chin is weak, and I tested it in sparring, and I got the fact back. Benavidez was also asked if Gvozdyk's jab was a problem for him during their sparring sessions. He said that it didn't affect him at all. He mentioned that there are ways to counter the jab, but you need to practice it during the training camp.
How did his jab affect you, if at all, in the times when you sparred with him?
It didn't affect me at all. You know, there's certain things and maneuvers you could do to get around the jab. You definitely just have to practice it throughout the whole training camp.
When asked about Gvozdyk standing up to Adonis Stevenson's power shots, Benavidez said that he's not the same type of fighter. He threatened to inflict maximum damage in his fight with Gvozdyk. So, now we're going to go in there and implement as much damage as possible. I did see that fight, and it was a great performance by him. I feel like I'm a different type of fighter. I've got a lot of speed, a lot of combinations, and a lot of power. I also have a great jab myself, and not only that, I have the will and determination to show everybody I'm the best in the world. Oleksandr Gvozdyk was asked about Benavidez in the past and praised him as a very good fighter. He mentioned that when the two sparred, he got his ass kicked. He went on to say that if anyone could beat Canelo, it would be Benavidez.
What do you think of Benavidez?
The bigger one.
Yes.
David, very good.
You ever sparred him?
Yeah, he beat my ass, by the way. No, listen, I spar him. He's a very skilled fighter, he has ability to absorbing punches very good. I think he would be a very good opponent for Canelo. He's the only guy who I think might beat Canelo.
David Benavidez moved up to the light heavyweight division for this fight. The talented fighter is ESPN's #2 super middleweight and delivered the best campaign of his career in 2023. He scored a unanimous decision win over Caleb Plant in March. In November the same year, he got a 6th-round stoppage victory against Demetrius Andrade. These two victories, both over former champions, left many fans hoping for a fight between Benavidez and the top star in boxing, Canelo Alvarez. It would be one of the biggest fights in the sport today. While Benavidez has been eager to get that fight for years, Canelo seemed to have other plans. After Canelo's recent victory over Jamie Munguia, he was asked if he would be willing to do the fight. He said only if he was compensated with $200 million.
If David was a little bit more respectful, instead of like talking trash, would that help a little bit in making a fight? Instead of like saying like buy buy some. 200 million. 200 million still? It's still 200 million? No más. Okay. No más.
Benavidez, on the other hand, continued to provoke Canelo. He said that if Canelo was tough, he would agree to the fight and prove to everyone that he's the best. It wouldn't cost him anything to get a good check. To be honest with you, bro, whatever Canelo does, that's on him. I mean, I feel like if he was as bad as he says, I'm talking so much shy tea, why don't he come and shut me up? That's really, if you prove that you're the best, and you are the best, what does it cost you getting a $65 million check and showing somebody up that you're better than him? You know what I mean? If he doesn't want to fight me, if he doesn't want to shut me up, it's for a reason. He continued by saying that the other guys Canelo has fought were weak compared to him and didn't really have power.
He knows what's up. You know what I mean? And I am the best. All the other guys he's fought is weak. They all have no power. That's why he doesn't want to fight me. I'm the bigger guy. I throw more shots. And I've been here for a long, long time.
Benavidez doesn't want his career to become attached to Canelo. If Canelo doesn't want to fight him, he wants to continue to progress in the 175 division by winning other belts and even go up to cruiserweight. He said, so if I was somebody that was nobody, he would come and beat me already. He's not doing it for a reason. My career, I don't want Canelo to always be attached to that. I want my career to be my career. I want to go up and I want to win other belts in 175. I want to go up to cruiserweight. I want to do my own SHIT. I don't want to always be mentioned with Canelo. If he doesn't want to fight me, then it's it. He can let his fans down. I'm never letting my fans down at all. David Benavidez even asked Saudi boxing kingpin Turki Alalshik to make the big fight with Canelo happen. He appealed to him on social media and even offered to donate his entire earnings to a charity if he loses. This will be the biggest Mexican versus Mexican-American fight in the history of boxing, and what better place to do it than the kingdom for the entire world to see. This fight is for pride and glory. I fight for greatness, not money. Your Excellency, if I do not beat Canelo, I will donate my entire purse to any kid's charity of your liking. When I do beat Canelo, I will be donating a huge amount of that purse to benefit children hunger across the world. I'm a champion of the people and will continue to fight the best. I stand by my words. However, despite this appeal, Turki Alalshik had his own plans for Benavidez after his showdown with Gvozdyk. He wants the winner of the fight between Benavidez and Gvozdyk to go on to face Dimitri Bivol. Bivol is the current WBA and IBO light heavyweight champion, and he defeated Libyan fighter Malik Zinad earlier this month. Originally, it was meant to be an undisputed title match with Artur Beterbiev, but Artur got injured and his match with Bivol was postponed. Bivol has previously said that he is open to a fight with Benavidez. He has sparred with Benavidez a couple of times, and Bivol said that the sparring was good for both fighters. Now that Benavidez has moved up a weight, Bivol thinks a clash between the two is inevitable.
Yeah, we had a couple of sparrings. It was good sparrings for me, for him, I think. And maybe in the future, yeah, we could fight to each other because he can move up, and if he moves up, of course he will be my opponent.
The future of the light heavyweight division will be made clear on June 15th at the MGM Grand Arena in Las Vegas. David Benavidez and Oleksandr Gvozdyk will clash in the ring, with the event being streamed live on Amazon Prime. That's it for today's video. Who do you expect to win this huge fight? And who do you think Benavidez will face next? Let us know in the comments. If you like our channel, make sure to check out some of the other videos on the screen right now.